Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 147, The Perfect Pearl. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and irascible Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me tonight is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you'll be playing.
Greetings, everyone. I am Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson, former cleric and now paladin of Garl Glittergold.
Wonderful. And also with us tonight is Lee. Lee, tell us who you'll be playing.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee and I'll be playing Distant Bells, a Kenku former rogue, now stuffed toy.
Very true. And also with us tonight is Izzy. Izzy, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello everyone, I am Izzy and I am playing Half-Orc Barbarian, Morezi Mugra.
Very true. And also with us tonight is James. James, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello everyone, my name is James. I'm playing Penton Chalice, a spell scale sorcerer.
Got your NPR voice going tonight.
That's correct. I'll be doing this all night.
And not doing her NPR voice is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a fighter tiefling.
Wonderful. When we last left our players, we had split the party, and they'd gone off on all kinds of crazy adventures, finally reuniting back in Kalimvor 10 days before the deadline to deliver the fully completed Staff of Seraphim onto the oldest tomb in Kalimvor. There were a few problems with that. One, in his trip to the astral planes, Distant Bells had been transformed into a stuffed toy. The chaotic creature had intended to turn him into an inanimate object for all time, but a cryptic comment about him being soul-locked had kept that from happening, and he is now an animate stuffed toy who looks exactly like a Kenku rogue, but adorbs. We also had the rest of the party coming back, and they have all met at the Alderman's stronghold, where they were briefly attacked by Ulfar Onyxword, the constable, who was a former acolyte of Bane, and felt the energies of Bane as they had used the glove as a portal to return back to this area. He had asked for their help, that tomorrow is the most important ceremony of Kalimvor, the Salt of the Sea ceremony celebrating Isis, where teenagers, and sometimes even older children, will dive to find the perfect pearl. When you went back outside, Penton, you experienced something that you never had before. For the first time, while you have had a psychic link and had felt emotions and maybe even images at times of Audrey 3, the necromantic chicken hut that you have had for several years now, has spoken to you for the first time. When you went on that strange adventure where there was the brain swapping going on, you had actually felt as a reward a greatening, a strengthening of this connection, and it has finally come to fruition. And Audrey talks to you, and she says, "Well, hello there, little hazelnut." Boom, 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 comes up to
you. I'm sorry. Audrey? Is that your voice?
Well, I should hope so. You didn't hear it before?
No. I was just getting, impressions and emotions and pictures.
Oh, well, land sakes. The rest of you are coming up, and you can see the look of stunned silence on Penton as he is facing off with Audrey. And Audrey turns slightly and leans down towards Morezi, and you hear the voice, Penton, "Oh, well, is Tinny going to finally feed me her little lizard?"
Tinny?
That's Tinny.
Oh, she identifies us by smell.
Why are you calling her Tinny?
Well, that is how she does smell.
Oh.
Just a clinking and a clanking along.
Oh. I see. I really want to know what your names are for everyone else.
Well, there's Oily. And, land's sakes, he doesn't hate. It's not very oily right now, is he? He's like a little stuffed pepper.
Oh my goodness. Oily. I get it. Okay. And who else?
Well, of course, there is the very kind young wet fur.
Fur. I like that.
And then there's just that adorable little Sandalwood. He's not the littlest one anymore, but Sandalwood is always very nice and keeps my cook fires very nice and warm and toasty.
He's very good at that. Yes, Sandalwood is wonderful at that. Oh, and what do you call me?
Why, you are my little hazelnut.
Oh my, of course.
She has never done this before, but literally, like that those big feet kind of haunch down. She's a big haunch. Like she will that's how she sits, like a chicken. And she actually just lightly nuzzles up against your shoulder, just like a little nudge. It's actually very sweet.
Well, I'm gonna just give her a big old hug.
Okay, and she's you still feel her emotions, and she just feels this great warmth of emotions, and it's very ecstatic. She's very glad to talk to you.
Bells kind of looks around to the rest of the group and is like, has he ever done that before?
I have
just
a question
a boy.
for you.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I have a question for you, Penson, because this is up to you. Because it can be both. Did you say this out loud, or were you just thinking it?
Oh, no, I was thinking, and I'm going to turn to everybody. Hey, guys. She can talk. I can hear her voice.
Really? That's interesting. Bell's kind of in a very wow.
She just told me all of your names.
Oh, Pet, can we go somewhere else now? Please take me away from the crazy sorcerer who's talking to his house.
From the nest that we've established in canon that is on top of Audrey, Afiel kind of flaps a few times. He goes, "Talking to you directly isn't that big of a deal."
I agree.
She's a little huffed. It's not that big a deal.
I mean, well, it's new. It's exciting. Plus, she'll never replace you.
She flies off.
Oh,
she's not really mad, but she's a little mad.
Okay.
And so now, are you going to? Is there anything before you start running security for the? Let's say that it is the next day now. Is there anything that y'all want to do first? I don't want to railroad y'all. If you want to grab anything, if you want to go shopping, if you want to talk.
I have a ring and a belt I need to get identified.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Penson can identify them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the magic gems. And what is edible
I
for...
won't be able to do all of those all in one day, but one or two things.
So let's do the ring and the belt first.
Good plan. Yeah, I will do that. I will sit inside Audrey and just basking in the newness of the situation and take the time to cast Identify in both the objects.
As he's doing that, I'll ask Athora to go buy a small calf or cow to bring to feed Audrey.
Very smart.
That's a good idea. As a matter of fact, hey Audrey, what kind of? I mean, we want to kind of keep it to animals, but what kind of animals do you prefer to partake of
Oh well, the cows are quite delicious. Of course, if there are any humans that you do want to feed to me, that'd be just delightful. But I take all types.
That is wonderfully morbid. But I think we'll stick to cattle right now. That's for special occasions. We don't like to normally throw sentient creatures to their
Except cows.
demise. But cows are stupid.
Humanoid.
Humanoids, Yeah, but we got to get you. It's been a while, and we've had a very busy week. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll get the items identified. Casty.
Moo. So the belt, and I want to be clear because obviously this would have been a clue. It doesn't actually take on this appearance until it's worn. But when you finish your spell, it is a belt of the monkey. The difference is if you put it on, it then becomes furry. But it gives you a +2 enhancement to dexterity.
Tix can have that.
And yeah,
He needs it. He needs it.
but an
Actually,
important point is you can command it to generate a prehensile tail. It will literally grow a tail for you that you can command.
Nice.
Yeah, and the ring is slightly less flashy, but may have uses that you were not expecting.
Okay.
It is a ring of jumping.
Aha.
So it
That can be
allows.
very handy.
It's one of those ones that's it doesn't let you slay a dragon, but you basically get a +5 to all of your jump checks. And it doesn't have it on here, but it does actually, I believe it does actually increase your jump as well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say it on this particular one that I pulled up, but it does increase your overall jump.
Question.
Okay.
I feel like the combination of the tail and the jumping would be really handy.
It would.
For the current situation that Bells is in, obviously when it happened, everything that was on him also became feltified.
Mhm.
What happens if things are added to him
You
during
have
this?
no idea.
Do they become feltified as well? And if you take... that's an interesting thing.
Well,
Not that Bells needs any help jumping, but,
so
actually he kind of does.
it doesn't. It for some reason it's not pulling up on here, but I will definitely say that a ring of jumping doubles your jumps. In addition to the +5 to all checks that require jumping. So it is because it's significant. It does.
That would give Bells a +9 to jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
When you put on a lot of magic items, much like the One Ring, they will actually reshape to fit you. However, whether or not that would happen in your form, you do not know. There's literally no way for you to know.
Well, being the size I am, the jumping thing would definitely come in handy, but also it's magic, so yeah, okay. Bells is just going to put it out of his mind. He's fine right now.
I did send you the updated stats for your current form, and
Yes.
you remember that you have some incredible advantages in this form, like
Yes.
not being able to breathe and greater at stealth and such things. But do remember that there is also some significant minuses to both your to hit and damage.
Yes.
Because you're
Yes,
a
there's a
stuffed
lot.
animal.
Yes. So Bells was just kind of, you know what? He will express interest in perhaps wearing the ring, given his size. Assistance in jumping may be helpful. But again, that's, it's up to the party, basically, especially considering his particular circumstances at the moment.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to put a claim on either of the items?
No.
I still say
Definitely
Tick should
not
have the
me.
belt.
Tix would deeply appreciate the belt.
I'm pretty strong as it is.
I mean, a prehensile tail as well can it cast spells?
Can it hold a weapon?
That
Can you
too.
use a wand?
Well, it's less about whether or not it could do those things as to how many attacks that you have.
Right.
So,
Well, I have 2 attacks, 3 if I use Axe Frenzy. Could I get a 4th? Ooh. With a tail. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we would have to have a discussion as to whether or not that would actually grant. I mean, just because you have 2 arms doesn't mean you get 2 attacks. So, having an extra limb doesn't necessarily mean you get 2 attacks. But
If
They have
no-
an extra type of attack.
yeah,
if nobody
Some
is
sort of
opposed to it, Bells
possibilities.
would like the ring.
Tix hands him the ring.
Okay, this is a ring to everybody else, but what is it to me? Is it a bracelet? Is it a... what are we...
By the way,
what are we looking at here?
okay. Well, I mean, it's really big compared to you right now, but you can try to put it on.
I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'll put it over one arm.
Yeah,
My left arm.
As soon as you put it over your arm, it begins to shrink down.
All right, it goes on a finger.
It shrinks down until you put it on, and then it becomes almost like it looks like tin, like the way that some stuffed animals have metal parts to them. It doesn't entirely become like felt, probably because of its magical nature. But yeah, you feel the jump coursing through your legs, and you can take an experimental jump, and suddenly, boing! You leap right up into the air.
It's not quite flying, but it'll do.
That's right. By the way, the tail specifically says, one, you can do it as a bonus action to animate the tail into a prehensile. You cannot take additional attacks with the tail, and you cannot wield weapons, but you can make an unarmed attack with the tail, and you can also manipulate objects as well as a normal limb, as long as it doesn't require, fingers. So it's really more for emergency attacks and unexpected attacks, and for manipulating things without other people realizing it. But obviously, mostly also that permanent +2 to your dexterity is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't just come running in with another axe with it. And as awesome as that would be.
Dost thou feel more dexterous, Tix?
Tix feels incredibly powerful and has a much greater initiative all of a sudden.
Yes.
He actually has a bonus to his initiative.
Willing to take the initiative. Well,
He might actually be able to dodge things now.
there are several games starting up in the village. If anyone would like to check any out, you're willing to. Or obviously, you're here for security to make sure everything's okay. It's early yet for the diving to start. So, just various sort of carnival-like things are opening up in the area. There's commotion, people are running about, there's excitement, and you can really kind of see why Ulfar really tried to get y'all to do this, that everyone is just super jazzed about this, and for today they're forgetting about the fact that, a giant monster is supposed to come back and kill them all.
Bells, who is coming along with Bells and the family to pretend bodyguard?
Marezi is probably more feeling real bodyguard, but I guess that would be her.
But she certainly looks like a bodyguard. You literally pretended to be a bodyguard when you went to that mine. So, yeah.
Penton is going to stick with Audrey and be like one of those security towers.
Yeah. Kind of make your way around.
Yeah. Plus,
Somebody should set up at the doorway with a ballista or something to just be a roaming.
We do have a giant bolo launcher
Ooh.
in the hut.
Somebody want to man that, and we could have a mobile.
That we took from another adventuring party in the plains. I remember.
You did?
No,
You did?
we
have it.
We have a Dungeons and Dragons medieval ATST.
I mean, you absolutely deconstructed that and put it inside, and there was plenty of room for it.
I mean, if somebody wants to help, let's put it back together. Why not?
I love it.
I don't know how many rounds we have for the thing.
You only need one.
That I did not record.
This is more of an intimidation thing.
Yeah, I would say sure. I would say there's probably about 3 rounds. I mean, there wasn't a lot. Plus, ballista rounds are really big.
Right. Yeah, just good to know, just in case, because something's bound to come up. But yeah, just find a good vantage point. I'm not going to be walking around and trying to dodge people and stuff. But just get a good vantage point and be on a lookout. That way I can kind of use her 360 sense. And plus I can also have A-Field doing, fly arounds. So I can kind of go back and forth between the two of them, kind of keeping an eye on the overall area rather than focusing on individuals. That way I can kind of see if there's a commotion going on kind of thing.
Okay.
Bells will just be carried along by Pet through the festival.
And what about
Marezi wants to do a search check to see if anything stands out to her as odd.
Okay.
That's a 16.
16. You do get a just kind of a general funny sense about the water. It's really vague, but just kind of an unease about the water with a 16.
All right. Marezi would like to see if there's anything, just walk over, see if there's anyone setting anything up near the water or anything like that.
There is. Yeah.
Yes. Well, what does she see?
She sees a group of laborers, and they are building a small platform.
While that's happening, Bells will be listening to all of the conversations going on, seeing if he can pick out anything that sounds off, wrong.
Okay.
That'll be gather information.
Go for it.
That's a 19 plus 10, so yeah, 29.
That there's something odd about this platform being built near the. It's not at the docks, but it's not quite to where they're going to dive for the pearls. And there's a group of laborers there, and they're constructing a small platform. Marezi, you kind of got a sense something odd was going on there, and then with your investigation, you kind of get an odd feeling about that distant bells.
All right, Marezi walks straight up, gets in her best beef posture.
Hi there. You need an extra hand with this?
One of the, foreman type guys goes, "Go away."
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure I'm security here. The constable himself, sent me to make sure everyone's doing all right.
I'm gonna roll diplomacy. I'm trying to see if they'll basically just continue to speak to me at all.
Okay.
That's a 16 minus 2. 14.
14. He kind of pauses and he goes, "What do you mean from the constable? I don't see no badge."
Oh, he wanted to make sure everyone's doing all right and wanted some extra eyes and ears.
Well, there's nothing wrong here. Everything's fine.
Marezi's sus sense is way off.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are clearly sus.
Oh, no. Marezi is aware that these guys are sus. If anything, I think her current plan was just to alert them to her presence, I guess. Almost like an intimidation. Actually, yes, Morezi's going to part ways with them, or bid her adieu by saying,
"Well, good. Let's keep it that way, right? Wouldn't want to upset the constable."
And I'm rolling intimidation. Generally, her goal here is to make sure that these guys are, just drop my dice, not attempting to cause havoc. And make sure that they respect her presence. Well, I have a +5 to intimidate, but that's a 8.
He just kind of shrugs and looks at you. He's a human laborer, but he seems pretty, capable. Just kind of a rough and tumble guy, like in his 30s, like seen a lot of sun. And they're just building this little platform, like almost like a viewing platform. And he goes, "Look, I got work to do. Whatever you're doing, I don't want it. Just go away."
Gotcha. What else are we doing?
I would like you to make a spot check, please.
Cool. Me? 4.
This is going well.
Well, Tix is going to, I guess, stick with Athora. We're going to be, I guess, do you want to go on patrol, Athora?
Sure.
And so which direction did Morezi go?
She went towards the dock. Oh, well, to the left of the docks.
Okay. And so we would have gone to the right and started making rounds. And I guess I'll do a spot check. And that is a natural 1. I don't see nothing. I'm looking at everybody's belt buckles, and I don't see anything.
That's fine. Some kids come up to you and they say, "Are you Tix Birchmanson?"
Why, yes. Yes, I am, child. What can I do for you?
Can you introduce us to Athora?
Well, yes, we can. Athora is right here. Athora is one of the greatest fighters in the realm.
Yeah, we heard about her. Our friends Johanna and Ash were telling us about her. And of course, you recognize that those are the 2 children of the blacksmith Cragmane, the 2 tieflings.
Right.
And not only had you 2 rescued the youngest one, Ash, but Johanna had asked Athora if she could be a fighter when she grew up. And so they've been talking about the amazing prowess of you, Athora. And they say, will you show us like some cool moves or something?
Sure. Draw out my sword and just kind of show off a bit.
Okay. You pull out your new sword, which is capable of literally stealing someone's soul upon killing them, and as so, it gleams with a pale light, not pale blue or baleful blue, anything like that. Just like clearly magical, and just you hear like a whoa, and you go through a few routines that you do in the morning, and give me just a quick athletics check. A little athletics. I just want to see how you do.
And Athora accidentally kills a kid.
That's right. Heads come right off.
Okay. Is there any bonus to that? I don't remember. Athletics is
just if you have athletics, that would be the bonus, or you could just
natural
add your,
20. Never mind. Don't need it.
So, like literally,
she cuts off both their heads.
The cutscene goes in. This is now a montage as you're doing this, like underneath a waterfall. Like it's just the most, and like it comes back, and like all the kids are just, their mouths are open, and when they are old and gray, they will still tell the story of how they met Athora Greyfield and saw her as they will tell it in combat. And then like just they burst out in applause and go, "Yay!"
When really all she's done is the martial equivalent of twirling poi.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So we've got that is going on with Tix and Athora. Merezi, you have been kind of stalled by these people. Where are you at, Distant Bells, at this time? Where are y'all kind of working your way towards?
I was with the pet and her mother, and I was listening for information, listening to conversations to find out if anything sounds wrong, like, people in shadowy corners, making plans or anything. Just listening to the general hubbub to see if there's anything that would catch my attention as someone who's used to people being a little scheming.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled a 29 for all of that. So
what you don't get is scheming. Like you don't pick up like, yeah, we're gonna attack at dawn, kind of thing.
Well, yeah.
or anything, adjacent to that. What you're hearing is underneath the festival and the joy and the entertainment and all of that is a lot of anxiety. Obviously, people are worried about the Cracklithid. There are tons of rumors of war with Beltrain, where the party came from originally. And there's lots of worry about that because Kalimvor is literally sitting at the top of the horseshoe of the Sand Swallow Sea, so it's equidistant between Beltrain and Hyboria, and currently it is under the protection of Hyboria, just like Massgate and Zental Keep. However, it has been conquered by Beltrain in hundreds of years in the past. So, like, this is one of those places like Alsace-Lorraine where it's just been conquered by the French and the Germans back and forth over hundreds of years. And so there's a lot of tension right now. And that's primarily what you're picking up from that. I
kind of figured that was probably the general consensus and why Bells was so kind of gung-ho about this going ahead, because it seems like it's something this town kind of needs right now. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of inconvenience to us is, I think, worth it for at least giving these folks some kind of joy, even if it's just for a little bit. Can anyone tell that my country is going through hell right now? Yeah. So, Bells will kind of sort of beckon Merezi over and kind of pass that on. Sort of like, this town is on edge. We really need to find a way to make sure everyone stays relaxed. What was that platform all about? Did you find out?
Some laborers.
Merezi, would you make one more spot check for me as you were leaving?
Yeah. That's a flat 10.
Flat 10. Okay.
Oof.
Yeah. No, you don't see anything. No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just some laborers, looked kind of shifty, didn't want to talk to me, but what can you do?
Maybe, I mean, it's in a weird spot, right? Maybe ask the constable if it's supposed to be built there. It doesn't seem like it's anywhere close to where the diving is going to happen, and I don't recall the place being a stage for anything, so might be an idea to find out.
Not a bad idea.
Might be an idea to find out if it's meant to be there or, something weird's going on. That's just my suggestion anyway. I'm going to keep wandering through and see if I can find a way to bring some joy. You know what? I want to start... I want to suggest to Pet and her mother that we start an impromptu puppet show.
I love it.
With real live action puppets. Or at least one live action puppet.
Petnak is so down to clown with this. She pulls out Owly and says like, "Okay, everybody, we're going to have a puppet show now." And like a few like indulging parents, because like kids do that. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Okay, Owly, and now... what are you gonna say?"
And Bells will put on the most quote-unquote booming puppet voice he has and sort of start telling a grand story about Owly and his friend's adventures through the forest of woe.
Give me a performance check with advantage because you're literally a puppet.
Yes. Lovely. 17, 18, 19.
19. There's those indulgent, smiles and stuff, and then suddenly they just are enthralled and they stop and they listen, and there's little gasps and stuff as you go, and they assume
he'll be miming the actions as well, combat sequences and all that kind of stuff, and standing around and manipulating Owly a little bit, to give him the sense of being just like me, a real puppet, just really playing up the fact that there is a stuffed toy moving around and making, at least trying to put the kids on edge or at ease, I guess, and spark some joy. So there's a little less, so that undercurrent is perhaps a little disrupted, perhaps.
And it completely works. This is a world of magic, and it is not inconceivable to animate a doll to talk. But this is really novel, and people are not expecting this. And so they by the end, they are just kind of like with Athora, they are just applauding and yay, and some coins get thrown in front of Petnak, who gleefully scoops them up. It is a big success. And
at the end, sort of Bells and sort of with his arm behind Owly, just kind of both of them do a mock, really deep bow in kind of a at the end of the play, I'm actually bowing and then forcing this actual stuffed toy next to me to bow.
It is a big hit, and the time has come now for the diving ceremony. You see all the kids are in their there are slightly ritualistic outfits that they're wearing, but they're still functional for diving, and they've got the little knife and the little satchel at their side, and you do note that none of them have any magical augmentation, either because they are not supposed to or because it's tradition, but this is just done by straight diving. And
for the listener's note, you could tell Michael's been places where free divers are in activity.
Yes.
That's so cool, though.
Oh, it's oh my gosh. And when it is time, they dive in, and there's a big cheer, and people are watching from the distance, and a lot of people go up directly to watch, but a lot of them stay back and kind of wait for them to return. And as y'all are doing all of the things that you're doing, that's when a scream comes, not from where the divers are, and not from the docks, but from that area in between. Now, I do want to be clear that this is not coming exactly from where that platform was being built, but it's in that general area. A scream comes up. How many of y'all saw the first X-Men movie?
Yes.
Not Isabel, I don't believe, but
I saw it, but I don't remember a single thing about it.
So there's a
is that the one where they turn into water?
Yeah, where the
interesting you say that. There's a famous horrifying toy that came out with that movie of Senator Kelly turning into water.
Yeah.
And it is horrifying. Yep. Just horrifying. That is what washes up on the beach. Is a human being who body is just becoming like this translucent membrane. There's one small problem. That as y'all come up, he is still alive. And his eyes turn and look at you and says, Help me. And that's where we'll end. Chafing Armor, episode 147. Thank you all for playing.
Thank you all for playing.
Yeah, well,
Thanks for almost killing the goo guy.
that's right. The goo guy is coming. So again, as Dare had mentioned on the last episode, we have a Patreon now. Y'all can come join us for the fun over at the Patreon. Dare, would you like to rattle off that Patreon link for us?
Sure, it's patreon.com/Chafing Armor.
Wonderful. Easy to find, easy to remember, and it will be in the show notes. We're doing a lot of fun things there. You can support us, of course, but you can come there and have lots of fun, too. Please do. If y'all want to find us, we are on, of course, chafingarmor.com. I am on the social medias, Facebook, Chafing Armor on Twitter, Chafing Armor on Instagram, all kinds of different places. Check us out. We would love to hear from you, and I'm not going to get everybody to rattle off their their different handles. However, I do want you to know if you go to the show notes for this episode, you will be able to find everyone's links. So thank you all for playing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And y'all all have a wonderful evening, and we will roll with you soon.